Hey everyone, it's Dot, and a dish that I really loved having when I go out to restaurants, and unfortunately I still go out to restaurants a little bit too much, but I don't get this anymore, is a spinach and artichoke dip, simply because it always would come with bread, and bread's a no-no. However, you can have it at home as part of your low-carb diet if you add some chicken to it and simply just do a casserole. So what I have before me is a rotisserie chicken that I picked up this morning from the grocery store. All I did was took off all the meat. I left the skin on as much as I could. So it is white and dark meat, and I just chopped it up. That's it. I'm going to go ahead and add cream cheese. You want to make sure your cream cheese is soft so you can actually mix it in. Mayo, sour cream. For my seasonings, I'm just using sea salt, garlic powder, and some red pepper flakes. Red onion. I'm adding the spinach in a little bit at a time because I don't want the bowl to get too filled once I start mixing it, but I am going to add the spinach. I'm using fresh spinach, but if you need to, frozen spinach works just fine. And of course, I have artichoke hearts. I just used artichokes from a can. These were in a brine. I'm only using half the can, and I just cut them up into smaller pieces. Just start mixing it. And you see how the cream cheese is spreading? That's exactly what you want. If it was a little too cold, you'd break your arm essentially trying to mix it. Now let's add the grated Parmesan and a little bit of shredded mozzarella. I used a tablespoon of ghee to oil my casserole dish. You can use ghee, butter, olive oil, whatever fat you'd like to use. Now we're going to pour this in. Then we want to make sure we spread this out evenly in the dish. And finally, more cheese. This one is a very cheesy dish. I'm using shredded Parmesan instead of the grated for the topping. And then more mozzarella. Now it's ready for the oven. The casserole is done and it smells absolutely wonderful. I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece. Now this particular one can serve 6 to 8 people. For our household, it's going to be 8 servings. But again, it's up to you how you want to do it. It just changed the carb count slightly. Now with any casserole, the first to come out is always the most difficult one. So just keep that in mind if it starts falling apart. It's only just because. Ah, creamy goodness. And it looks like spinach and artichoke dip, but it's got tasty cheese all throughout it and chicken. Let's give it a bite. This is delicious. It tastes just like spinach and artichoke dip, except it's got the lovely chicken in there as well. I had a nice piece of dark meat. There's a nice crust on it too. Normally you'd have breadcrumbs on top, but the cheese, because when you broil it, it turns a little dark and it gets a little crusty and it makes a nice little crunch to it. So you have that nice mouthfeel like you would with traditional dip. It's definitely something that's really easy to put together because you don't have to make a chicken. You just buy rotisserie chicken. You can use frozen spinach if you want, and you use artichokes from a can. It can't get much easier than that. So there's not a whole lot of effort here, but definitely give it a try. I hope you share this video, hit like, subscribe, and until next time, I'll see ya.